NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at. People at.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivy with you, back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. Welcome back to the Nathan Ivy Show. If you are a neophyte to the show, we've only got one rule. Open your mind before you open your mouth. Other than that, it's all good. Good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday. Beautiful Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. So I mentioned sharing your thoughts. If you like to do so, we are a traditional digitally based radio show, daily digital talk radio based here in the city of Cincinnati, harnessing the power of the internet, new black media, independent media, and the last honest place, at least in these United States. Welcome back. Now, on today's show, I want to talk about some local issues, some national issues, cultural issues. There's many things that I'd like to discuss with you this morning. If you want to join the conversation, 513-873-7134. You can always just take a free ride on my thoughts. Maybe you want to hit up the chat room, a.k.a. the Choppers, the Chop Shop. Man, all I can say it is... if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. I think the Choppers say that. They are correct. The Choppers are correct. Good people, intelligent people, highly motivated people. But they can be rather blunt.
Get to the chopper!
You mofos can be damn blunt, and you know it. Just say anything to anybody.
Get to the chopper!
So let us begin. The what, where, why, and when will all be explained like instructions to a game. See, I'm not insane. In fact, I'm kind of rational. When I've been asking you, who was more dramatical, This one or that one, the white one or the black one. Pick the pump and I'll jump up to attack one. Can anybody finish that line right there? There it is. I'll leave it like that. First person who can finish that line, I got something for you. All right, this is interesting. A lot of things to talk about this morning. Again, let me throw the number out, 513-873-7134. And quite interesting, man. You got this local story of this downtown jewelry shop, Tri-State Jewelers. Have you ever purchased anything from Tri-State Jewelers? Well, the feds might want to talk to you. Apparently, a whole bunch of people, like 37 people, including 25 from the tri-state area, have been arrested and charged with a drug conspiracy case that spans from California to Mexico, including a pair of small businesses here in Cincinnati. According to a federal indictment, Tri-State Jewelers on Ray Street and Nationwide Automotive Group on Vine Street were basically storefronts to launder, package, moving cash nationwide, and they're saying it was a network of drug traffickers. Are you surprised to hear something like that? How prevalent is this? A lot of storefronts in the city. Are they all legit? Yeah, it's what the feds are doing, man. Apparently it was a long-term investigation, like long-term, years. And they seized, here's what they seized in a series of raids. This is what your federal dollars are getting for you. They seized more than $500,000 in cash. Now, what happens to that money? $500,000? I mean, do they burn it? Is it just become evidence in the case, and then after the case, they put it in a little box or something? What the hell? What else? 19 pounds of fentanyl, which is a whole lot. They can kill a whole lot of people. 3 pounds of heroin. 100 pounds of cocaine. 42 pounds of meth. 47 weapons, 12 vehicles, an inventory inside the jewelry store. They're saying that the jewelry is somewhere around $1.1 million. From what I'm reading, the feds are making a big deal that they got that 19 pounds of fentanyl off the streets. Probably say, well, did they really save any lives? Let's be real here. I mean, I'm sure there's more fentanyl around the city, and fiends are going to do what fiends do. They're going to get that drug. You know it and I know it. What needs to be done? What should we do? So the feds are actively investigating. You never know. You never know. And you got to stop them dope dealers, man. Got to stop them. Because, you know, they're the ones that created the opioid crisis. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't, did they? Yeah, I guess fighting this is a good thing because of the deleterious effects of the drug trade. Like, you don't want nobody doing that in your neighborhood, like really, really super hard like that, because look at what it brings. It brings those that are addicted and everything that comes with that. Everything that comes with it. You don't want that around your family, do you? No, you don't want that around your family. I know I don't want it around my family. Why would you? So hooray, hooray, the feds are doing their jobs. They're doing their jobs. And we should all feel a whole lot. We should all feel a whole lot more comfortable. We should all feel a whole lot more comfortable. That's all I'm saying. Here's my number once again, 513-873-7134. Speaking of the opioid crisis, Hamilton County is to be a part of a $350 million study to stop opioid deaths. Yeah, it's bigger than just Hamilton County. It's statewide. But Hamilton County has been chosen to be one of more than a dozen Ohio counties participating in what I told you is this big $350 million federal study that's trying to target the opioid crisis nationwide. Now, what does that mean? Well, the study is going to look at current addiction intervention techniques and policies. Ooh. Was there a study like that was conducted? Was it? I wonder, they spend this kind of money trying to figure out how they can politely deal with the crack cocaine epidemic? I think not. counties selected for the study have seen some of the highest fatal overdose rates in the state. So again, this is a dubious distinction that we're getting here. But, again, what does that mean? In Cincinnati alone, emergency crews have responded to nearly 800 heroin overdoses in just the past 6 months, y'all. In just the past 6 months. That's crazy. Clearly an epidemic. The name of the studies is titled Healing Community Studies. Does that infuriate you? Are you infuriated by this velvet approach, this soft touch approach, this well moisturized approach? We'll get used to it. The study is looking to reduce fatal opioid overdoses by 40%, which I think is admirable. And it will track best practices in local communities to see what services or tactics work and which ones don't. So what are some of the best practices? Well, they're talking about expanding the Narcan, expanding information, expanding access to treatment. 10 counties in Ohio will be part of the first wave in the study. And a second wave, including more counties, will happen later. And we shall see. I guess we'll find Hamilton County would be like ground zero for all of this. So we're going to find out together. We're going to find out together, right? Here is my number again, 513-873-7134. It's nearly 8:30. I want to do a quick pause for a little bit of news from Bloomberg Urban Report. Perhaps it'll add to the conversation, but certainly will add to the education for all of us. Let's check this out. We'll be right back.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. TV director diversity reaches a new high. According to the Directors Guild of America, the number of women and directors of color made gains in the 2018 through 2019 season. The percentage of episodes directed by women grew to 31%, more than double the rate 5 years ago, and the number of episodes held by directors of color rose to 27%. That's an increase of more than 40% over the past 5 years. The Federal Reserve has approved the biggest bank merger in more than a decade as BB&T Bank joins up with SunTrust Banks. The new institution will have more than $425 billion in assets. And get ready to fly the crowded skies. Airlines for America predicts more than 31.5 million people will travel by plane over the Thanksgiving holiday period. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
All right, that was very quick, painless. I said education earlier. I should have said information. We'll add to your overall information this morning. Quite interesting. A lot of stuff, man. Shout out to female directors, black female directors doing their thing. And if you're in the rideshare business, it looks like it's going to be another very busy holiday season. I know that Thanksgiving is always a very, very busy season. So get out there and get that money in. Hey, listen, later on today, guys, we're going to stream, will be the first live stream of the Cutting Through the BS, I can't curse it yet, not until 9 a.m., Cutting Through the BS podcast hosted by Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. That'll be later on this evening, 7 p.m. approximately. All right. You can follow it on Sin Digital Media's Facebook page. And, of course, it'll be on my page as well. And for those who enjoy the Dope Chicks Collective, you can check out that podcast. I'll just do a search on Spreaker. Matter of fact, it's up on a lot of different platforms. And, of course, the Dope Chicks Collective is hosted by Danny Blue, the original Dope Chick and brainchild of the DCC. Dope Chicks Collective is a place where dope women come together in art, life, and activism. If you value melanated conversations, real conversations, subscribe to the podcast. I'll post a link. Yeah, Good morning to you. It's a beautiful Wednesday, isn't it? So beautiful. Oh, man. My daughter, she's doing, you know what? I had to go to my daughter's school the other day and deal with some issues, but ultimately all is well because it's all about the children, and she's trying very, very hard. You know, so you ever see a kid trying to do something, you just want to encourage them. So, you know, she's trying to do her thing. Junior is great, 4 years old. And he is every bit of 4 years old. I just got to go with the flow, man. You got to go with the flow. He's every bit of a beautiful 4-year-old little boy. So life is good over here, yo. Life is good. How about yourself? It's good to hear. It's very good to hear. Brenda writes, Happy Wednesday. Mike Davis writes, Rise and shine, young stars. Hackshaw Jim Thuggin writes, Game. Oh, good morning. What the hell is the Nathany Show? I don't know what the Nathany Show is. Let me double check here. Let me double check and look and see what the Nathany Show is. I don't know. Perhaps I misspelled it. Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. I won't be looking crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Yeah, I see that. Now, how the hell did that happen? See here. And it is now changed. Now, wherever it's already posted, it's going to remain that way. But for anyone who else comes to the new stream, they'll be able to see the updated version of it. All right. Thank you for that, Fame. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Hacksaw. Kush writes, Good morning, Nate and the Choppers. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Good morning, Nate and the Choppers with a Z. Miss D writes, Greetings. Miss Tiffany writes, Morning. CJ writes, Good morning, Nathan and everyone. Carla's in the house. She writes, Good morning. Hey, good to see you, Carla. Hey, man, listen, I'm always humble when people get up and check out this show on the internet. You could be anywhere doing anything. Thank you for spending some time here. Hopefully I can live up to your expectations. And if I do not, we can blame Trump. He is the patsy of the moment. We'll blame him. Sharp writes, Good morning, Nate and the Choppers on this gloomy Wednesday. You say gloomy? I don't know, man. This is great, like hot sauce weather, right? This is great workout weather. Like any weather is great workout weather. What else? This is great in the house doing something weather. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful out there. I love it, man. We all alive. We healthy. It's beautiful. Tanika writes, Good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hope you have a great day. Sharp writes, BDP, right in your diss. Wait. BD, wait. I think Sharp is answering the question here. What? I thought I was going to slip that by somebody. But you are inaccurate. Let me see. BDP right in your face and diss you. You're close, but not close enough to warrant the reward that I have prepared for the person that can answer the riddle. I threw it out there real quick. I delivered a quick flow that is not my own. It is a hip-hop classic. And whoever can finish that for me, I have something for you. A reward. I have that for you. Sharp, that is inaccurate. Close, but inaccurate. Deborah writes, Good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Okay, wait a minute. We got to see Miss D here. She writes, KRS-One is just the guy to lead a crew. Okay. Miss D. And there's another part to that. Kush writes, KRS-One with just a guy to lead a crew right up to your face and dish you. I mean, hold on here. Referee timeout here. This is a close one. Okay. This is at 8:26. Kush writes, KRS-One with justice gotta lead the crew right up to your face and diss you. You so close, man. You're so close, but you never know how these things are. I mean, did you intend to write with justice gotta lead the crew, Kush? And I know that you are an admirable brother. And I will trust you on that. I mean, is that what you meant? Let me scan forward here. I'm looking for Kush's comment. Let me see here. Sharp writes, damn. Miss D writes, right up to your face and dish you, LOL, I was driving. I think I need to hear from Kush here. Kush, it's all on you, brother, because you that is not the answer. Like, if you meant to write KRS-One with justice gotta lead the crew right up to your face and dish you, that is not correct. But if you are driving or something like that, and I guess accuracy means something, right? I guess, again, the reward is not worth your life. Trust me, it is not that serious for you to get into some crash while you texting on listen to the Nathan Ivey Show. Please don't do that. Hopefully you're in a place where you can sit down and really text diligently and make sure you get it in, because I was guilty of it earlier. You think I really meant to put a Y on the end of my own name? No, of course not. But sometimes those things can slip through to you. Slip through on you. So I'm awaiting to hear from Kush, if you are Kush. Kush writes, Miss D is correct. Okay, so that tells me everything. So, Miss D, you got it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. KRS-One is just a guy to lead a crew right up to your face and dish you. It's a classic. Come on, man. You don't know that? Man, I shouldn't have to educate you about this, B. You should already know this. Miss D, I got something for you. So can you hit me up on Facebook with a direct message? Or that would probably be, or you can hit me with an email, nathansflow@gmail.com. Let me put it in here for you. That's my personal email. Yeah, I got a couple emails, but that's my chopper email right there. Long time email. All the choppers know that email, hopefully. Nathan, was there a decision made on next meetup? My preferred date is Friday. That day is an option, absolutely. Oh, man. Kush was an admirable brother. He said Miss D got it correct. Kush, thank you for being real. He wrote, with justice, gotta lead the crew right up to your face and dish you. Oh, that's hilarious, man. Thanks for playing along. But Ms. D, seriously, I do have something for you. Everyone loves gift certificates and gift cards, right? Everybody. You can do what you want to do. I got something for you. Let's see here. Where are we now? Deborah writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Miss D writes, I think I read that. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Crystal's in the house. She writes, good morning. Cerinthia's in the house. She writes, morning. Everyone saw me on the last album cover, holding a pistol, something far from a lover. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Drop writes, good morning, Choppers. Another bad day for the desperate Democrats. Hold on, Drop. I can't believe you just said that. Another bad day? Or you just typed that? I can't believe you just typed that. Another bad day for the desperate Democrats? I don't think so, B. From what I can recall, from what I took into it, everything went all bad for the president. There was at least one person who had originally testified, and the Republicans really jumped on that testimony because it favored their overall support of the president. He got before Congress yesterday and said he got more information. Now he's been updated, and he actually basically made things worse for Trump. So come on, Drop. We're too smart and intelligent. You can't come in here acting like we don't know what went on yesterday. Veneman? I mean, the way that he redirected our good friend and buddy, Jim Jordan from Ohio? Trump's favorite, ass kisser. In Congress, sorry, kids, it's political, so it's okay. My apologies, mom and dad. I know you're on your way to take your kids to school. Now, at this point, it should be probably daycare. Because since I ain't public kids, you should already be at school. You ain't in school right now. You out smoking and drinking? Better get your ass to school, kid. Go learn. Go learn. I'm just surprised that Drop tried to pull that on us. Like we didn't watch. Like I didn't pay attention to Lieutenant Colonel Veneman. Like I didn't see Ambassador Volker. Like I didn't sit back and watch and analyze and see for myself. It's that Drop for you, man. Speaking of the devil, we got him on the line. Number one miseducator.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy, and all the beautiful people in the chop shop. Mr. Ivy.
Oh, you're going to play it cool, huh? Okay, good morning to you,
right.
sir.
Good morning, sir. Again, I just call it like I see it. Okay? Now,
yeah, right.
I was up early this morning, and I made a point to drop you some of my Drop Squad 52 production little videos on your timeline on Twitter.
I see you doing your thing with the videos, man.
Okay, so, and there's one of them that shows when our beloved Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, when he almost exposed the whistleblower. Because I don't know if you saw this part of the testimony, Mr. Ivy, but Devin Nunes was questioning him, and he asked him, who did you tell about the phone call? So he named some people that had need to know, and then he said some people outside of the White House. And Devin Nunes says, who were those people? He said two were from the State Department, and one was from, guess where, Mr. Ivy? Where has all the problems been coming from, stemming all the way back to the Mueller investigation? From the intelligence community.
From
the
Trump?
Intelligence community,
No,
Mr.
from
Ivy.
Trump. From Trump. Trump has been the source of all the chaos ever since he got in office. Leading up to before he got in office because of his shady dealings with Russians.
Mr. Ivy, don't try your talk show host tactics because it don't work on me, okay? What happened when Mr. Vindman, or I'm sorry, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, when he was asked who was that person from the intelligence community? Did you see that part, Mr. Ivy? What happened just before he was getting ready to answer? Okay, maybe you didn't see it, or maybe you did, but I'll tell you what happened. Immediately, the majority leader, the chairman of the committee, Adam Shifty Schiff, also known as Pencil Neck, immediately jumped in and said that line of questioning must stop because you are attempting to expose the whistleblower. Now, Nate.
And what's your point?
My point is Mr. Schiff and Lieutenant Colonel Vindman both previously have said they do not know the identity of the whistleblower. So why would mentioning the name that Colonel Vindman told about the phone call, who was from the intelligence community, why couldn't he mention that name?
What difference does it make?
It makes the same difference as when Ambassador Taylor was on the first day, and he said one of his aides overheard Donald Trump speaking to Ambassador Sondland, who's going to be testifying today, on a phone call in a restaurant. It's the same thing, Mr. Ivy.
You will do anything you can to protect Donald Trump. It's amazing. It's amazing,
Ivy,
man.
I'm calling it like I see it.
Nah, it couldn't be. You have a very biased lens because if you're looking at it objectively.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, because the biggest thing that happened yesterday was the testimony of Volker. Everybody thought coming into it that he was going to reiterate what he said previously.
Right.
Was it essentially that it played right into the Republican narrative, right? That essentially that Donald Trump did anything wrong. He walked in there yesterday. He walked in there yesterday and shocked everybody from Fox News to MSNBC. Everybody was shocked that he said, look, now I got updated information, and his testimony actually seemed bad for Donald Trump, very bad for him.
Okay.
So,
you know,
I hear how you're trying to mischaracterize it, but that was the biggest news from yesterday.
I'm just stating facts. Okay, first of all.
Yeah, but the fact is that was the biggest news from yesterday. That was the biggest turnaround.
Mr. Ivy, I did not say it wasn't. All I said in the chat room was another bad day for the desperate Democrats. That's all I said.
Well, how's it a bad day for the desperate Democrats? When the biggest moment favored them.
Okay, because Nate, when I listened to Morning Joe this morning, because I always listen to the commentary following up. Okay, I didn't want to comment on what happened last night in the political commentary. I wanted to wait until this morning. And what happened this morning on Morning Joe, the earliest authority on political talk, they were all focused on Colonel Vindman, his patriotism, his immigration status, his father's courage, his military service, him getting a Purple Heart for getting a scratch in a IED roadside bomb. The people he were with, they were all injured severely. He gets a scratch, goes to work the next day, and he's out here wearing a dress uniform, touting. I mean, Mr.
Is
Ivy,
that right? Hold on. Can I say something real quick? I mean, having said that just goes again. I ask you again, how can you say it was a bad day for the so-called desperate Democrats when now, well, hold on, let me get it all out. When now, by your own admission, the two biggest moments that everybody's talking about favor the Democrats. So how can you look at it and say it was bad for them? Where are you basing this on?
Because there was nobody testified that Trump committed bribery, that Trump committed extortion, that Trump committed quid pro quo, Trump committed abuse of power. None of that happened because the two witnesses yesterday, Ambassador Volker and the guy I told you yesterday on the show to watch out for, Tim Morrison, those both were the first two Republican witnesses that they were allowed to call. Okay? Now, everybody knew.
And what they said was bad for Trump.
But you're not mentioning what Tim Morrison said, Nate.
What did he say?
Okay, that's my whole point in making my statement, Nate. From depending on who's watching this, okay? Like you said from the very first day when this thing was announced, you said it was nothing but political theater. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's true, but you're not answering the question,
that's what you said. I'm trying. I mean, I don't know how else to answer it other than to say the political commentary is not focusing on the actual reason that these hearings are being held. Did Trump do anything? The two people yesterday both said it didn't happen. Vindman got exposed earlier. He was the first witness up. I mean, Nate.
Vindman never got exposed, man. He never got exposed. He never got exposed.
But again,
that didn't happen.
The eyes cannot see what the brain does not know. Okay? If you don't know anything about body language, I'm telling you, Nate, I studied body language as part of refereeing. I'm telling you, Nate, all I'm saying is Vindman was supposed to be the Democrats' star witness. Nate, did you hear how they tried to pump up this man's personal history that had nothing to do with the phone call he
It's
heard?
got everything to do with not the phone call, but establishing who he is as a man. Is he a person with an established record of good character? That goes a long way to believability. So that's why they do all that. So if they go back through his history and they find he's a damn liar, then people won't take him seriously. But that's not what they found.
Tim Morrison had the same record. He's military. He didn't wear his uniform.
Listen,
but I understand.
So wait. What's wrong? What's wrong with a man that has a Purple Heart?
Nate,
hold on, I'm just saying. Can I explain it? Can I give you a possible explanation? What's wrong with a man? Now we both know whether you like Colonel Vindman or you think he's part of the deep state. which the
I didn't say
Trumpsters.
all that.
I'm
Why
just
you putting
saying.
words in my mouth?
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just saying, no matter how no matter what your bias is about this man, so far he seems like there's a couple things that we can agree on, right? One, he seems like a career military guy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, he's only the kind of guy that'll put his life on the line for his beliefs, his country. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
Nate,
the reason why they established all that stuff, because it says something about him as a man. That's it.
No,
bro.
but see, Nate, the only thing I'm saying is they didn't do it with everybody else involved. Okay, I was in the military. I was in the United States Marine Corps from 1980 to 1987. I know you have different types of uniforms.
Do you ever wear your uniform?
Okay. Nate, again.
I'm just saying, do you ever wear your uniform?
Nate, I've been out of the military since 87. Of course not.
Okay, but if you were in the military, and here you are, you put your life on the line. We speak on Colonel Vindman. So we know he's the kind of man who's a career military guy, which means he's probably proud of what he's doing. He's put his life on the line. Okay, so he gets a chance. This is his duty. He's in front of Congress. Why wouldn't he wear his uniform?
Okay, Nate, again, I'm trying to explain things to you because you weren't in the military. I know that for a fact. Okay, like I told you yesterday about the uniform, and that's all they're talking about today. The reason I told you he was going to wear the uniform.
So you wouldn't wear your uniform?
No, listen, Nate. Oliver North, you remember him doing Iran-Contra?
He had his uniform
He
on.
wore his Marine Corps uniform.
He sure did.
Michael Flynn, President Trump's first national security advisor, when he was going through his thing, he wore his uniform. Okay? All I'm telling you, Nate, is when people wear that uniform, they're trying to garner either some type of sympathy or to put them in a box where anything they say can't be questioned.
But that's
it'll be difficult. Listen, Nate, hold on, brother, please. If you question, because they're in the uniform, if you question anything they say, they will connect that to you questioning America and the patriotism and that whole thing.
Well, you got to take that up with America. Nate. You got to take that up with America and the so-called patriots. But here's how I look at it: that's the yin and the yang of military service. You know, people going to interpret when you wear, your military, uniform. They're going to interpret it different ways. Some people are going to interpret it bad. Some people are going to interpret it good. That just comes with the territory. But I think the Republicans have been trying to turn this into some kind of conspiracy. Like he's using his, and what it really comes down to is they know he's an all-star witness. They know that he's like squeaky clean, and that seeing this longtime man with a Purple Heart on, it doesn't make Donald Trump look good. So that's why the Republicans and all the Trumpsters are running around trying to make it a big deal, man. We see right through this.
Nate, excuse me, Nate. All I'm saying, man, because it's time for me to get off the phone because my throat is dry. Because listen, Nate, if you saw all the stories related to the uniform, because one of the Republican congressmen, I think his name is Mr. Stewart, he brought up the question, okay? And again, Nate, all I'm telling you is Mr. Colonel Vindman was supposed to be the star witness, and all I'm telling you, Nate, he did not perform because they're not talking about what he actually said. All the commentary today, they're not talking about really what he said. They're talking about him as a person and how dare the Republicans and President Trump attack him.
That's not true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not true. You're making that up. They are breaking down what was actually said. You know how they do it. They take a select, depending on the media outlet, they're going to take certain clips. They're going to break down what was said.
Okay. Well, maybe Mr. Mahler can take time off from his job, and maybe he can call in because he's the only one that really accuses me of trying to mislead people. I just give you the facts because you know my motto: trust but verify. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science and videos to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
All right, take it easy. Appreciate it. This is interesting from the Cincinnati Enquirer, written by Sharon Coolidge. Cincinnati City Councilwoman Tamaya Denard called people's attention when she told Mayor John Cranley not to white-splain how appointments to the city's internal audit committee were chosen. What's interesting is, and I'm not sure when she posted this, But there, Tamaya Denard actually posted, I was just reading it last night. She posted something on her Facebook page about it, where she further got in detail and I believe made a very interesting point. And so if you don't remember, the mayor and her got into an exchange because essentially Tamaya Denard questioned why weren't there any applicants of color to be on this, I guess you can call it obscure or very little talked about committee, that's all volunteer. And then as the mayor of Cincinnati, white male Democrat John Cranley, began to explain it to her, she let him know, like, look, you don't have to white-splain it to me, which means that it is a term to mean when white people try to explain racial issues or dynamics to black people, right? And matter of fact, this goes back to, a few days ago, actually. This is Tamaya Denard on her Facebook page. Early this week, there was some controversy regarding my comments to a colleague regarding the lack of inclusion in the diversity of the Internal Audit Committee for the city of Cincinnati. The news story should have been about the lack of inclusion, not white-splaining. In 2 months, City Council will have our shot at 2 appointments. Right? And hold on, I think there's something else here that she talked about. Where was it? And she posted a link in which she was like, hey, listen, people don't know about these boards and what they do. So to assume, I guess she's speaking for about John Cranley. Like if John Cranley, the mayor of Cincinnati, are we properly promoting all of the potential opportunities they are to work with the city of Cincinnati, whether it be on the audit committee or whatever committee? What role do they actually play? I mean, how much influence do they really have? What do they really do? What do they control? Right? I don't know. There's a lot more going on. We shall see. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Brian's in the house. He writes, good morning. Tony writes, good morning. Mason Mahler writes, morning, ain't the choppers. Ukraine and the membrane. Robert writes, who's a bigger liar, Donald Trump or Catholic priest? The sad thing is we really don't know. I mean, I would take Catholic priest first, just because of the impact of an entire, the impact of an entire network of churches, like a church, the Catholic Church, and the impact that they have through these various churches in our communities throughout the country. The sum total, yeah, man, that's easy. Catholic priest. Ray writes, she's talking to Kush. Robert writes, Vindman delivered firsthand knowledge of the president's call. Game over. Sunderland will verify Vindman's testimony. Game over. Yeah, I don't know what Drop is talking about, but yesterday was pretty bad all the way around. I mean, across the board, it seemed to me to be pretty bad for the president. And you got the president's allies in that congressional committee, including Jordan and others, who are doing whatever they can, every little inconsistency. Aha! Oh, you subscribe to the Rachel Maddow show on YouTube. Oh, you subscribe to Rachel Maddow on YouTube? See, there it is, never Trumpster. They got this term now that they think disqualifies people. You should be a never Trumpster. Because he's a disgusting bastard. We all know that. Look at him. Look at him. Tracy writes, hi. Bunky writes, what's up, Nate and the Choppers? Sister V writes, Hotep, happy hump day all. Be best. By the way, whatever happened to the laziest First Ladies initiative? The laziest? Mike Davis writes, KRS-One is just a guy to lead a crew right up to your face and dish you, correct? We just had one winner. Miss D writes, got that. Oh. Huh. Think about this, actually. Sharp writes, damn. Wendy is in the house. She writes, hey, good to see you, Wendy. Miss D writes, I thought you were just being cute. There's a real price. No, why would I say that? I would never just say I got a price for you just to be cute. Ben writes, that's a hip-hop Bible verse. Is it? Hip-hop Bible verse? No. Kim writes, if you were to rule or govern a certain industry, all inside this room right now will be in misery. No one would get along or sing a song because everyone would be singing for the king. Am I wrong? Dope lyrics. Pamela writes, drop, you are lying. I watched all of it. Vindman was asked if he knew who the whistleblower was, and he said no, flat out. I don't know why Drop thinks that we don't listen to, watch, and know what's going on. Again, the kind of people that would listen to a daily digital show are digitally connected. They're on social media. They're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They're riding heavy in their digital lifestyle. Mason Muller writes, drop his line again. Nunes tried to out the whistleblower. The whistleblower has protections as a whistleblower. There's a reason Vim and his family are in need of extra protection. Mason Muller writes, the fuck is Drop talking about? You don't get a Purple Heart for a scratch, and it's perfectly acceptable for servicemen to wear their dress greens, right? That's exactly what you would do. Yeah, you want to represent yourself. I mean, Vindman came across to me like, this is his career. It's his life. Those kind of people are going to rock what you rock. You're going to rock the uniform. What you do. Why have a uniform if when you go to Congress and it's super serious that you're not going to wear what you earned? You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it, whether it's Republican or Democrat. If you earn that, if you earn to wear those stars, those bars, that Purple Heart, well, then, damn it, you get the perks. And the perks is that when something crazy happens like this and you get caught up in the game and you got to go to Congress, you get to wear your uniform. And all of the positive associations that come with it, that's what it comes with the job. Tell me I'm wrong. That's how it rolls. He earned it. Same thing with Oliver North. When Oliver North was wearing, he was wearing it because of the same reason, because of everything that comes with it. And he wore them mofos and still went to jail. But he earned it. He earned it. So that's how I look at Vindman. He earned it. I don't know what you got to do to get a Purple Heart. Let me look it up what you have to do. But I bet you it was something that put your body on the line and all this other kind of stuff. So he earned whatever comes with it. I mean, I guess that's the power of a good reputation. The power of a good reputation is that when things are like, you get the benefit of the doubt. Tell me I'm wrong. Isn't that how the world works? So Drop's in here trying to bring this man down because he dared to wear his uniform. And when he goes to court, he should wear his uniform. If they stop him for a traffic accident or not accident, but some minor ish, he's like, oh man, you know what? I got to go ahead and fight it. He should walk in there with his uniform and his Purple Heart on. You know why? Because it's going to benefit him. And guess what? He earned it. Damn, so anti-patriotic, man. These Republicans are anti-patriotic. And I don't even know what patriotism really means because rarely do you ever really see it authentically displayed. We see a whole lot of fake symbolism of patriotism as if that's something to aspire for. If that's what, that's the road to the life you're trying to live, your best life. That's great. But I'm not even sure what that means. But a lot of people take that serious. And to those people, if you got those certain uniform and had a certain experience and got rewarded, they're going to think very highly favorably of you. And that's the way it goes. You know what? Vindman and all these people really shouldn't have to testify. But the problem is that we have a commander-in-chief that has no boundaries. He was born rich. Trump has never had to really struggle a day in his life. He's either been running cons before he was on TV or he was running cons on TV, right? Like he was some serious, super, the Bill Gates of business. He's not no damn Bill Gates of business. I tell you like this. Trump was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. If when you were born, You were born into a $50 million inheritance. And that's only half of what Trump was born into when you adjust for inflated dollars. How do I know this? I read it or watched it in a video. But hashtag facts. You know what I'm saying? If you was born $50 million, something tells me you'd be okay when you got 40, 50 years old, unless you was just a complete idiot. And I don't believe there's that many complete idiots. Some would. In this audience, perhaps not the concentration of people that would do something dumb. But just ask yourself, if you was born to a $50 million inheritance, wouldn't you be okay? Yes. Because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to start no damn business. 50 million? You live off the interest and just do that whole, rich person thing, whatever the hell that is. Right? So when I look at Trump, I look at a blue blood born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I think he's smart enough to know how to make money, which is real estate. Right? I mean, but again, if you got the right architects and enough money, who can't make money off real estate? You buy it, you fix that motherfucker up, you sell it. Simple as that. I mean, let's quit acting like this is some kind of genius. And he said something that crossed the line. He's dealing with a hostile Congress. You're dealing with a lot of pent-up issues because of what happened with Obama. The Democrats sat back and watched how the Republicans played Obama at every turn. Trump likes to talk slick and greasy. He's a sleazebag. We know that. He don't have no morals. We know that. Trump cares about two things: what makes him money and, what pleases him sexually. To me, it's what brings him power, what builds his ego. That's what he cares about. That's what I see. What do you see? But people voted for him because, how can you vote for a woman? You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. Pamela writes, wow, Drop really isn't attacking a Purple Heart recipient? How low will this guy go? Drop will say anything. He'll say anything. Thank you, Nate, for letting Drop get away with this BS. Vimman put Trump on blast. Yeah. He says, thank you, Nate, for not letting Drop get away. Yeah, I couldn't let him get away with that. Pamela writes, OMG, Nathan, hang up. Okay, I know you won't. Drop thinks we are wafflehead Fred. Drop, we listened and watched. You are getting your info from Fox. So here's one way we can look at Drop, because we know Drop's smart. We know he's an intelligent man. But here's what happens when you consume too much of that right-wing radio, because we know he's a Rush Limbaugh fan. Yeah, I don't know if you listen to Rush Limbaugh, but Rush Limbaugh can be hilarious. He can be very funny. If he can get some good flows going, he's got a good topic. Oh, he's hilarious, man. So he'll mix that humor in and then hammer it with the politics. And that's what you get. You get Drop. Talking about he woke up in the morning and listened to the Morning Authority, Morning Joe. Whose Morning Authority is that? That's who you listening to? Morning Joe? Oh my gosh, man. Jeez, guys. Nate, I'm former military and I've worn my dress greens to official events. Drop is full of shit. Terrence Grasses will tell you the same thing. Oliver North wore his uniform during Iran-Contra, right? That's like saying you can't wear your uniform and you're running for political office. You earned it. It's what it is. I mean, when people take those political photographs, they want that to be the best photograph possible. You want the photograph to communicate great things. What communicates a better symbol? It's nonverbal. Got a guy there with a uniform on. It's got all kind of tassels and medals. Shiny stuff up there. Oh, man, we got us a little wall hero. Certainly we're going to put you in whatever, XYZ fill in the blank political position. But it comes with the territory. If people don't like it, then go to the military. Do some valorous bravery shit. Get your leg blown off or whatever it takes to get a Purple Heart. And then you can come back and run for office and wear your uniform. That's what I think. Pamela writes, Sister V. Right, Sister V. That's why I try my hardest not to debate with a Trump pansy. They evade facts and make up their own alternative truths and expect us to believe that ish. Carla writes, Nate, it's time to drop. Hacksaw writes, a Hollywood movie exec suggested Julia Roberts play Harriet Tubman. When I told that Harriet was black and Julia isn't, the executive said, quote, that was so long ago, nobody remember. But y'all okay with Colin Kaepernick monkey ass toying with your emotions. Wake up. Just like not all skin folk is kinfolk. Not everyone preaching black power is truly on your side. Colin is a professional Negro like many of your local leaders. Well, in terms of a good flow, Hacksaw, I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 ABs for it. There's some of that I agree with. Like when you said that not all skin folk is kinfolk, you're right. You're very right about that. When you wrote that not everyone preaching black power is truly on your side, you're very right about that. The story itself, I did read that within the last 24 hours, and of course, it's on my list of things to talk about. So we'll use you posting it as a segue to get into the conversation. I did read that. If you're not aware, this is being reported for real, that a Hollywood executive suggested that Julia Roberts play Harriet Tubman. Can you believe that? Julia freaking Roberts. What? And I guess they pressed the guy on it like, well, wait a minute, she's white. How's this white woman going to play Harriet Tubman? Allegedly, this Hollywood screenwriter suggested that people wouldn't know. Now, is he just the dumbest motherfucker you ever heard of in the last week or so? Or are we just that damn gullible? Like, hypothetically, what if they put out a movie with Harriet Tubman portrayed as Julia Roberts? Okay, what if they did that? What if they did that? Now, can you see them doing the whole Julia Roberts and blackface thing? At a certain time in America, you better believe it. You better believe it. There was a point at a certain time in America that, man, that movie would have been green-lighted a long time ago. Okay? But it's a new day now. I don't see them doing that with Julia Roberts. I don't know if I could see that. Now, maybe she might play like some little-known Irish woman that was enslaved and she was like the Harriet Tubman to her people. Maybe something like that. But that is amazing. And this is the reason why there's so many bad movies in Hollywood. Now, this is something that... Okay, so let me back this up here. So the producer of the movie Harriet is a guy by the name of Gregory Allen Howard. And apparently he started writing a screenplay 2 decades ago with Casey Lemons. And they revealed some of the outrageous casting requests during an interview early this month with Focus Features, which is the distributor for Harriet. Quote, Harriet was set up at Disney 26 years ago, was my first assignment. Hollywood, however, was very different back then. You say 26 years ago. Can somebody do the math? When is that exactly? 90-something? Is that 93? 94? 95? Somewhere around there. It's 94, 95. So 1994, 1995. Can you imagine? Now, many of you were there. You were probably younger, 20 years younger. But could you imagine 26 years ago, and the culture has changed, but could you imagine 26 years ago them putting out a movie, Harriet Tubman, played by a Julia Roberts in blackface? I don't see it. I don't see it. No. I don't see it. But what does that say that somebody would even consider it? Was that just a bad day from a screenwriter? You know what I'm saying? Woke up late, didn't get the dope he wanted last night, cranky, just saying some dumb shit. I mean, is that a disgruntled worker? That just seemed to be so crazy that anybody would even suggest it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was a joke. This guy is talking in circles. He still hasn't answered Nate's question. This has been a horrible moment for Dropzo. Not in Dropzo's mind. Yeah, Drop will he'll start talking about other stuff and He'll find a way to just somehow get the conversation back to where he wants it to be. We see you working, Drop. He'll say something like, hey, you're not, Mr. Ivy, you're not going to use your talk radio superpowers on me. He'll say something like that. I see you working, Drop. I'm a poker player, man. I love poker. You talking about as a referee, you weren't reading, I mean, I guess you're reading body language too, but yours really as a coach, is it body language or is it body movements? I think it's body movements more, but that's just me. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Someone says, unrack him. Exactly. Where else is here? Cincy Tigers says, good morning, Ain't It Choppers. Mom is here visiting from Atlanta, and today is her 56th birthday. I'm floating on air. Glad to spend time with my favorite girl. Well, tell your mother happy birthday from me. And I hope I can say the Choppers as well. Nobody else say anything dumb. Cincy Tigers writes, that's great. 56? Damn, your mama young? Damn. I'm curious. How old are you now? You don't have to answer, obviously. Hacksaw writes, I'd rather listen to Drop than read half these people's comments who normally lack wisdom or depth. Usually emotionally jibber-jabber that gets nothing done. Try me and I'll name names. Well, the first name is going to be this dude that we know, Fame. That's going to be the first name. The hell? Why she say name names? Hey, Shula Israel, how you doing? She writes, good morning. Oh, hey, we doing great. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm doing great. Beautiful day. No, Tigers, I just wanted you to practice. What? Oh, my God. I didn't even read. I read ahead. I'm good. Nate Oliver North didn't go to jail. He got a suspended sentence and probation. Mason Marlowe writes, open your mind before you open your mouth. Oh, boy. Cincy Tigers writes, that BSU kick in. Glad to see you're feeling better today, though. Prayed hard for you yesterday. The fun baby is better than a jailbird with money on your books. Glenn wasn't born into $50 million, but he was born into a couple million. He attended Woodward from Mason. Hashtag Jesper Verify. He lived in a mansion in Mason with a Jeffrey. Yo, Holmes to Bel Air. He's funny. He's funny. No argument there, Lenny. No argument there at all. Genius. That's that, right? That's Hacksaw. Let's see. Flip-flopper, vacillating, fair weather, freaky, politically expedient. All words describing the current GOP, right? Yeah. But, I mean, would the Democrats do anything different? Let's say Trump was a Democrat in office right now. Would the Democrats be doing the same thing that the Republicans doing? I just don't remember the tone of the Monica Lewinsky thing, but I think there was some Democrats that were very, very vocal. They turned on Clinton quick. But the Republicans stay on code. They stay on code. But back to this. So, oh my God, what is this? Why is Kevin Flynn in the media still? I mean, like local media still goes to Kevin Flynn. I mean, of course, he was on city council and, did I like Kevin Flynn on city council? I did because he was always great for a quote. He was, very strong in his opinions. And he didn't mind, like, chastising city council right there in the council chambers. And, I think you need that wild card. So, I don't remember his politics and everything. I do remember having some disagreements here or there, but I don't really remember, to be honest with you. But he seems to get, from time to time, a chance to get his opinion out there. About matters on city council, which makes sense. I mean, he would be an expert of sorts. He was on city council. He sought not for re-election. He sought, I'm not going for re-election. He decided not to. Yeah. So I'm tired with y'all folks, man. I got other things to do. Y'all ain't trying to do nothing down here. I guess is what he said. And this is quite interesting on the local front here. We'll keep our eyes on that. 37 people arrested, 100 pounds of cocaine and more was seized at a tri-state jeweler's drug sting. Apparently, the feds are saying that Tri-State Jewelers down on Ray Street, and Nationwide Automotive on Vine Street. Now, to the choppers, if you don't mind, I mean, it's up to you, but have you spent some money with either of those establishments recently or anytime in your life here if you live in Cincinnati? Tri-State Jewelers on Ray Street and Nationwide Automotive on Vine Street, because I like to know. Law enforcement agents said thousands of hours of work went into the large-scale investigation. They found guns. They found all kinds of drugs, cocaine. And they found all of that. And they're saying that essentially these two establishments were nothing more than fronts. I'm looking at it now. It's all shuttered. How long has that place been there? We pay cash for gold. And I guess that's bad. I guess it's bad to have a drug front. I mean, I'm just so torn on the drug war in terms of I don't even know who the bad guys really are. Who are the bad guys? Like when it comes to the drug war, who are the bad guys? Like I said, it's a hard question. I don't know. Is it the Mexicans? Is it the Americans? Is it the African Americans? Is it the citizens? Is it the police? Is it the feds? Is it the ocean? We have no idea. We have no idea. Everybody claims they don't know what's going on until they have a drug bust. And I guess closing down drug fronts in the tri-state area is a good thing. But I wonder, what's going to be the overall impact of this? Like, is this really going to put a dent in the crime? Yeah, oh man, we cleaning up the streets. And not to be cynical, but I'm just being real. They got 19 pounds of fentanyl, which is a very poisonous, dangerous substance. People are putting it not just in their heroin, but if you're buying street weed, you're going to find it in your street weed as well. 3 pounds of heroin, 42 pounds of methamphetamines, if I can get it out, 12 vehicles. Woohoo. Now, will I be able to pick one of those up at the Hamilton County auction? Yeah, it's the perks. The perks of living in a drug-infected society. You got to take advantage of the perks, people. Oh, man, a lot of folks from Cincinnati got swooped up. Hope it wasn't your family in them now. The narcotics conspiracy in this case is punishable by a mandatory minimum of 10 years life. From 10 years to up to life in prison. Money laundering conspiracy is punishable by up to 20 years in prison. So you can get anywhere from 10 to life. And can they trace, does it matter? Should they be able to trace this back to like people actually being killed? Apparently, they got 4 homes that was part of the drug bust as well. Where were they at? There's a house on Beach Drive in Springdale Township. Another house on Gellout Drive in Fairfield. A house on Queen City Avenue in Westwood. And a house valued at over $300,000 in Ellenwood, Georgia. What? You got a little spot down in Georgia? Jump in the whip. Go down to Georgia for the weekend or for the week. All of the homes have Derek Bryan, the owner of Prime Cuts Barber and Beauty in Springfield, or Golden Homes Investment, listed as current owner. And again, this is straight from the news. Damn, that's up. Wow. Well, are you really surprised? I mean, obviously these things are going on. Because the drugs are so accessible. Now, is this going to make drugs less accessible in Hamilton County in the long run? Now, I know in the short run, you got to say there's probably going to be an impact without having any more, details than that. Okay? But in the long run, is this just going to create a vacuum where somebody else is going to come in? Because somebody's going to sell them drugs. Americans are not going to give up drugs now they had this drug bust. People that live in Hamilton County who are addicted to heroin are going to give this up now. Like, you know what, guys, this is the moment. We're all gonna stop. This is the moment. No. So I applaud how better could law enforcement be deployed? I guess, again, the fentanyl, the heroin, the cocaine, the methamphetamines, I mean, those are all drugs and are only going to contribute to the poison in our environment. I get it. The guns. I mean, maybe that's the best way to look at it. This is just, like, listen, even though we know there's pollution out there, you still try to do your best efforts to try to keep it down, right? Same thing with the crime. You know the crime's going to go on. You try to do your best to try to impact it as much as possible. So we shall see. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Hacksaw writes, Drop is the caller of the year. Pay homage. He is the too sweet of this show. That's a very crude way. I do remember Brother Too Sweet. I do remember him. Cincy Tigers writes, facts on fiction. Facts on facts, brethren. The whitest of the white birds, Julia Roberts playing Harriet Tubman. Listen, just because some dude said it in a room doesn't mean they're about to go make the movie. I think the comment is more a reflection of this individual. I'd like to know what this individual's track record is. Like, you know, this motherfucker might be one. It sounds like one of the Gilligans behind that fiasco, that last finale season of Game of Thrones. So again, you know, there's Gilligans everywhere you go, man. You never know. I'm not going to blame the entire Hollywood industry. At least they didn't make the movie. Now, we know there was a time when they would. Cincy Tigers writes, so is Tri-State Juniors running drugs in the city of Cincinnati? ? Forgive me if you've already discussed. I just pulled up. They got all in my little teenage money back in the day. Do the same folks own it? That's a really good question. You know, I remember shopping there when I was younger. Give me some gold. I believe. Yeah, I've been there before. I can't remember what I bought. Maybe I bought a watch or something like that. Yeah, maybe I bought a little fake-ass watch or something. I'm not surprised. I mean, you go in some of these places, man, it's like, you know, the customer service stinks because they ain't really no salesman. I'm not surprised, but like, you got to have some way to launder all that dope money. Officials said at least $800,000 was laundered at Nationwide Automotive between November 2018 and April 2019. Damn, there's a whole lot of rental cars. Nationwide Automotive. Is that right? And we're talking about Tri-State Jewelers down on, it says 630 Ray Street downtown. It was raided by federal agents last Thursday. So I'm sure people will be talking about it all day long. And if you live in the city of Cincinnati, keep it locked. Oh, boy. Nobody wants to go see the Bengals lose to the damn Steelers. I just saw a headline that makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, the team must not be doing well, but people still care about that rivalry. Yeah, not so much. Wait a minute, fella. Not so much. Not so much. All right, let me talk about some more political matters that I think might pertain to the audience here. Let's talk about the presidential debates that are going to be happening, where once again you're going to have all of the Democrat candidates that are going to be front and center, including Elizabeth Warren, who has been making a lot of news. She's been making a lot of news. And she has actually come up with some so-called plans to address issues that I think will be relevant to, in particular, the non-white community. Okay, so within the last couple of days, Elizabeth Warren has released a plan to fight white nationalist violence. She released a plan to combat the increasing threat of white supremacist violence and terrorism. Her plan is called, quote unquote, fighting back against white nationalist violence. And she asserts that she would make it a top issue if she should be elected president. Now, if who do you think are going to be the beneficiaries of such an endeavor? It would be 9 white people. So I posted it that way because white nationalists, what they hate is not just black people. They hate anybody or have a problem with anybody that's non-white. So as an African American in this country, if you are, or a person of color, you would benefit from that, right? A safer environment, getting rid of the lunatics that's got a problem with you because of your skin color that might want to walk into a church. Speaking of which, have you heard the latest? Speaking of walking into a church, we all remember what happened to Charleston. We all know that 9 people were murdered. We all know this, right? This is just omnipresent. You remember this story, you'll never get rid of it. And we know that Dylan Roof was the perpetrator. He did this because he was a racist psycho sicko. He killed 9 people that day, massacred 9 people down in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was terrible. Well, within the last 48 hours, it's being reported that police prevented yet another racially motivated attack. This was a teenage white girl who was overheard saying that she was going to go to a black church and kill a lot of people. The effort was thwarted. But it just underscores the necessity for this. You know, people are acting out. People are acting out. It is real out here. Yet another reason to get your CCW. Yet another reason to join our gun group and get your CCW. And so you can protect yourself if somebody wants to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem. You want to go all crazy? Okay. Let's go crazy, right? Got to watch yourselves out here, folks. Can happen. This young girl was going to, she was going to go to the black church. She was found to have weapons on her, but she had knives. She didn't have like an AR-15 or something like that. To me, it's still a threat because look at what OJ did to those 2 white folks, Nicole and Ron. He stabbed them up. You can stab people up with a knife. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody could nick a major artery and you could bleed out. You could bleed out. So a knife is a deadly weapon. That's why prisoners make shanks out of toothpaste and toothbrushes, shall I say. Some toothpaste, a toothbrush, and some toilet paper. Because sharp objects can kill human beings. You know, it's just the way it is. That's why these animals out here got claws. And when they lock you up as an animal, you got to make yourself some claws. Hence the shank. It's a terrible existence. But you get the point I'm trying to make here. I mean, it's a crazy world. And so Elizabeth Warren says that she's got a plan. I went to her website last night. I looked at the plan, and here are some of the big things. She wants to prosecute and investigate white nationalist violence utilizing the resources of the Department of Justice and Homeland Security. Really? I love the idea. Why aren't they already doing that? Why aren't they already doing that? She wants to prevent individuals convicted of hate crimes at every level, including misdemeanors. So if you get convicted with a misdemeanor hate crime, and what does that mean exactly? From being able to purchase firearms and expand background checks. Quote, I'll work with Congress to permanently prevent any individual convicted of a hate crime from owning a gun. Full stop. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you like that idea? I'm reading through some of the highlights of Elizabeth Warren. She's a senator. She's currently one of the front runners as we get ready for another debate for the Democrat nomination. Some say she's got a good shot. And I guess she's trying to respond to people. Again, 2015, that was just 4 years ago. Mother Emanuel AME Church. Think about Charlottesville, the rally in 2017, just 2 years ago. Woman ran down by a white male with ties to Ohio. 2018, the murder of Jewish worshipers at a Pittsburgh synagogue. And what is the consistency? White nationalist violence, white supremacy. And that's the way I use my words very carefully. They don't care if you're Cambodian. You're just not white. They don't care if you're Hispanic. You're just not white. They don't care if you're an African American. They don't care if you're ADOS or a foundational American or whatever the hell Tariq is calling it. It don't really matter. You're non-white. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why we need some teeth to let these psycho sickos know that there'll be some severe, specific, and swift consequences for your actions. She wants to designate hate crimes as domestic terrorists to account for the harsher punishments black and brown people disproportionately receive from prosecutors. Address the presence of white nationalist groups in the U.S. military. Is she willing to address the presence of white nationalist groups in law enforcement in the United States? I don't see that. That's a step that needs to be taken, a phrase that need to be added. Because the military, it's easy for you to say that. It makes sense. It becomes far more political if she challenges law enforcement. And we all know that there are white supremacists that are members of law enforcement. This is documented fact from the FBI. This is not my opinion. You can Google it up. Drop writes, Hollywood's been doing this forever, really? Cam writes, Charleston Heston played Moses in Egypt. So what's the big deal, ? Hollywood has always whitewashed our ancestors. Yeah, but see, now we got Tyler Perry. He's got that fabulous new super sound studio, the house, the studio, the complex that Madea built. And so now when we want to make black movies or more authentic narratives for our own entertainment and education, we can just go down to Will Smith studio, rent it out, and make your movie. There it is. Easy peasy. Cincy Tigress writes, True Cam and Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra. Right. If Elizabeth, when was that, the 50s? Man, that trash. Hacksaw Sarge writes, I know I bought Mad Majestic t-shirt. Wait. I know I bought Mad Majestic shirts from their Tigress in the 80s and 90s. I even bought a chain from there last year. Oh, boy, you bought a chain from there last year? Uh-oh, you're contributing to the problem. Uh-oh. She said, thank you. She was a young mom, and I'm thankful she kept me. I'm 41. Oh, your mother was a young mom. Damn. That's got to be great for y'all now. That is great. Oh, man. She made it happen, huh? Okay, much respect to moms, because that's, damn, being a kid and you have a kid, the sacrifices, woo. Tough. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it without doing it, messing up their kids. So it sounds like she did a great job. See, Drop writes, Free Black Lion. I agree, free Black Lion. That brother has imprisoned himself. He has excluded himself. See, Hacksaw, but he don't give a damn. I mean, Black Lion he been banned from Black Talk Radio for a year before. Easy peasy. I think he cussed out Jerry Tolliver or said something dumb on the air. And she was like, oh, word, beat. I think that's what happened. Check me if I'm wrong. Tracy writes, my cousin was caught up in that drug bust. Really? Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Damn. Tracy writes, I used to spend money at Tri-State back in the day when they sold minutes for phones. Damn, I remember those things. People buying minutes. Got to get some minutes for my phone. I remember that. Always a gimmick, man. They still giving us gimmicks with these damn phones. It's all about getting into our pocket. James writes, hello. Hey, what's going on? Mike Jones writes, I've never spent money at Tri-State. Hey, what's up, James? Come on in. Ray writes, she's very credible, right? I mean, we watched it. Well, who the drop think he is? You can't lie to us, man. Yesterday was a no good, very bad day for the president, and everybody knows it. But that's Elizabeth Warren, everybody. You know who loves Elizabeth Warren? John from Princeton, New Jersey. He loves Elizabeth Warren. And he's on the line with us right now. John, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey, and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world, and yes, those choppers. How are you today, sir?
I'm excellent.
Little feedback bouncing around, but I guess we'll have to tolerate it. You were talking about a number of things before we get to Elizabeth Warren, and the ridiculous white girl that thought she wanted to run into a church, stab or shoot, whatever she was thinking about. I'm glad they were able to forge her, stop her before she merges in and do some damage to some people. These shootings and killings, black churches, synagogues, or elsewhere. Come on, let's face it. Let's just put a stop to it. The only way to put a stop to it is everybody pack and carry. You know, if the U.S. doesn't want to, this government does not want to control guns, take the guns away from the sickos, then let's just let everybody get licensed, pack and carry, call it for what it is. It's the Wild Wild West. I don't understand something, and maybe you can put some sense to it. Why is it the southern states, Florida across the country, Georgia, Tennessee, the South Carolina, only southern states, you can pack and carry? Yes, you got to have your license on you. But as long as you got your permit or license on you, it's okay. But the northern states and across the country, the Midwest northern states, they don't want you to have guns. You know, oh, yes, you can get your license permit. I'll give you an example. In the state of New Jersey, as long as you got your license and your permit on you, you can't vanish the gun inside your car. You can't be strapped and everything. It's got to be locked up into a box in your car, which is ridiculous, you know. You see a murder or some little old lady coming out of the bank, the time it takes you to stop your car, get out of your car, go into the trunk of your car, get the car out, the robber's gone. Or he's robbing somebody or murdering you. So what the law enforcement is saying to the northern states, you can have your gun, but it better be locked up, got to be put away. Or I'll give you another example. Here in the state of New Jersey, they got a law on the books. You're home with your lovely family, minding your own business in your house. The robber's breaking in the back of your kitchen. You come downstairs, and he's in your kitchen eating your chicken, having a good time. You come down with your gun, bam, bam, bam. You shoot him. He stumbles outside your house. He's on the porch of your house. One leg is on the porch, and the other leg is on city property. Now the cops show up. They see that one leg on your property and the rest of his body is on the city property. They don't care if you got a permit, license. They can arrest you and take you all the way. Now, before the cops come, if you drag his body on your property, then they can drag him away. You're okay. Unbelievable, stupid law. So, you know, is this a foreign country or is this America? It's like I've always stated to you many times. There are two sets of laws in this country. One for them and one for us. You know, the rich and the powerful, the Trumps, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the average citizen like me and you better get a good lawyer and you better have money because you're not going home. That's how the system is set up. Your comment.
That's how the system is set up, huh? Well,
the reason why I say that, look at OJ. You were talking about OJ. You were just talking about OJ. You know, OJ got away with it. Well, we don't even know if OJ committed the crime or not. So I'd be very careful putting out that information out there. claiming O.J. committed the crime. Johnny Cochran is a good lawyer. He's
also dead.
Well, O.J. spent millions of dollars, and all Johnny Cochran said at the end of that trial, he put the skull cap on, the gloves. You cannot convict if you don't have the crime. You haven't proven it. Plus, it didn't help that the stupid police officers vanished the crime scenes. They had things on, jumped over they really screwed up the case. The lab guy, the Chinese guy, he screwed up the case too. So O.J. got away, but he got away with not the crime. You didn't convict the guy, and the jury was there. People of his peers were there. There was no case.
Well, let's talk about it.
It wasn't proven.
Well, I know. I don't want to go through that again, man, but I know you love Elizabeth Warren. I was talking about her plan to fight white nationalist violence. Did you get a chance to hear that segment?
No, I didn't hear it, and I'm going to look it up after I get finished walking the dog.
Yeah, it's called
saying.
Fighting Back Against White Nationalist Violence. Says she wants to designate hate crimes as domestic terrorism. She wants to throw the full power and resources of the Department of Justice and Homeland Security. I like it.
I know. Yeah. I was listening to Atlanta station this morning, and one of Elizabeth Warren's representative, her sister, I forgot her name, a high-powered sister. She's supposedly in the top 10 of political African-American women in the circle, but she runs part of Elizabeth Warren's campaign. And Elizabeth Warren, I think, is going to be in Atlanta tonight speaking, and she's going to talk about the black issues. And this particular woman says Elizabeth Warren is for reparation. That drew her into Elizabeth Warren's camp last year, and she was picked to run part of that camp. So she said that's what she was focused on, reparation, and she wanted to hear what Elizabeth Warren had said, and she became a part of the team. So my focus is not to waste my time with this Trump crap, Republicans and Democrats. My focus, as I've stated many times, reparation, reparation, reparation. That's my focus. So I'm going to listen to Elizabeth Warren.
So what does that mean, Dyke? So that means you're going to vote you're going to vote it. Number one, I know you're not registered. Did you? I'm not even going to ask you about nothing. I'm just going to say that.
I told you I registered.
Yeah,
online.
I know. Yeah, I know you did.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, I stated, and I've been consistent. I'll be consistent. Elizabeth Warren's the candidate. I'm going to vote for her. I'm not afraid to say who I vote for. I'm telling you, she's the only candidate that makes sense. The rest of those clowns do not make sense. So I'm voting for her. If she's not the candidate when it comes to the convention, yes, Zorro will rise again.
All right, John. Thank you for the call. John, a.k.a. Zorro. Appreciate it. That's John from Princeton, New Jersey. Always great to hear from John. That man is infuriating, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's John from Princeton, New Jersey. Swears he's all about that activist life. Won't even vote. Talking about he only gonna vote if she in there. What about the state of New Jersey, John? What about the state of New Jersey? What about the state of New Jersey? There's other issues than just president. But I'm going to let that man do what he wants to do. You notice I didn't even ask him? I'm so proud of myself. I didn't even ask him. I don't want to put him in a situation where he's got to tell us a lie. I already know. He didn't vote. You just had elections, John. You didn't vote. Early this month. And they had elections in New Jersey. And I know you didn't vote because you didn't mention it at all. Haven't said a word about it. So I'm going to leave it alone. But he wants to talk about holding people accountable. John is waiting for the Messiah. Let's keep it real. John has a Messiah complex. Let's keep it real. And he's waiting for the Messiah to show up and lead him to the promised land. That's all it's going to take. Keep it real. I'm not insulting him at all. I'm just giving you my opinion. Just give me my opinion. And just before his call, I was talking about Elizabeth Warren, who has his new plan, white nationalist prevention violence plan. It's tied up with gun regulation as well. Some of the key things that stand out is that she says, even if it's in a misdemeanor, if you're convicted of a misdemeanor hate crime, that you will be excluded from purchasing a firearm forever, or for maybe some determined amount of time. Quote, I'll work with Congress, and maybe it's what she's telling us right here, to permanently prevent any individual convicted of a hate crime from owning a gun. So if we got somebody that start out young on some misdemeanor-ish, you want to test the waters? Cool. It comes with lifetime consequences. No gun for you. You got a disability now, bro. You can't get a gun. Is that a good idea? I'd love to get your thoughts on it. You tell me. 513-873-7134. They are going to sweep more houses and businesses involved. Mark my word. I agree. TNT is in the house. Good to see you. Mason Marley writes, let it go, drop. We're not effing with you no more. You like that chicken that lies all the time. Ain't got time for your foolishness and lies. You're losing credibility if you had any. I'm just saying. Let me see here. Y'all are not kind. You are not kind. Mason Marlowe writes, oh shit. Sunderland, in a written opening statement, said there was a quid pro quo and Donald Trump and Giuliani pushed it. What now? Drop right. I did read that. While we were talking with the good brother from New Jersey. Yeah, Sunderland just dropped a bombshell. So, again, I think if you're not paying attention to it, here's what I gather. What I gather is that Trump crossed the line. And he tried to use the power of the United States to influence another nation to do an investigation against one of his political rivals. Wait a minute, doesn't that sound like the Mueller investigation, right? To some degree was about that. Trump was willing to cozy up with Russians and he took a meeting. His son and his son-in-law took a meeting because the Russians said they had some dirt on Hillary Clinton. This is Trump. This is Trump's MO. If the devil himself emailed Trump and said, you know what, B? You know what? I got a little info from you, but it comes with a price. Are you willing to pay it? Trump would pay it. He sent his son. Go get that info, son. Oh, yeah, and pay the man before you leave with your immortal soul. That's just kind of Trump. That's when people say corrupt or character, that's what they're talking about. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. All I can say is that they never called Barack Obama trying to, use his power of the White House to influence a foreign power to go after somebody that he could possibly be running against as a political opponent. All I'm saying is I'm sure Obama could have did that in some ways. He never got caught in the game. So if you're not watching it, it looks like Trump is dirty. And the Democrats are going to jump on it and they're going to politicize it because they're out of power as in terms of there's a Republican in the White House. They want to make Trump a one-term president. And they're going to use whatever means they can. Period. And that's what it comes down to. The Democrats didn't have to come for impeachment. They chose to do this. And do you think it's politically motivated? Of course it's politically motivated. It's a fucking election year. First time ever that you're ever going to have impeachment proceedings during an election year. So that's what I'm saying. 2020 is going to be special. It's going to be different. And I'll be live, local, and vocal. We'll chop it up. TNT writes, they hate Jewish people too, white supremacists. Yeah, they hate the Jews because they think the Jews and the gays and the blacks are all conspiring. They just don't know. We too busy bickering. Too busy bickering about minor shit. Haven't heard about that, Ray. Let's see. Sissy Tigers writes, I don't get it. Why specifically black folks at a church? Apparently the young girl had been reading about what happened in South Carolina, I believe. Let me pull the article back up. And she was overheard actually at the school by some classmates that told administrators about what was happening. See, that's good students. These students are smart. They ain't trying to get caught up in the game and catch a bullet because you know you didn't get enough whatever from your mommy and daddy. Nah, they'll tell on your ass in a second. And my daughter already knows. You start talking that, oh, you want to go to school, shit with 100 friends? Y'all ain't friends no more. You tell us immediately, and we will handle it. We will handle it. Now, I know a lot of people have been waiting for the launch of that Black News channel. It was supposed to launch 5 days ago. But they got some new money from Shahid Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a billionaire, Pakistani American. And he now is the majority owner of the Black News channel. So with the new infusion of cash, they decided to push the launch back to 2020, January 2020, if you're interested, which I think is going to be very interesting. See what else is here. Going through your chat here. What up, D Grace? He writes, what up, Nate? Good morning, Choppers. It's at 9:40. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Better late than never. What did I miss? Bunky writes, Hollywood is whitewashing Black Americans and the government is committing genocide against us by smothering us with Mexicans and Indians. I mean, I was with you up until the part about smothering us with Mexicans and Indians. The Indians, if you mean Native Americans, is that what you mean? Because they were already here, bro. I mean, come on now. Cerinthi writes, BL is just so sweet in person. He keeps me laughing. He's my nigwa. Love that guy. See, I never said I didn't like BL. I never said that. I like him too. Mason Marler writes, I spend money at Tri-State battery, LOL. What? Tracy writes, tell John to get rid of the iPhone 6. He said iPhone 6, huh? John sounds like he's talking through a can with a string going through it. Let me see. My oldest daughter just brought her a 45 automatic and showed it to me the other day. It inspired me to quit planning to get my CCW. She's been going to the gun range with her dad for years, so she know how to aim it and hit her target. TNT, listen, let me know. We can set it up. You already know. Hacksaw writes, LOL, he totally bossed a famous quote. Clue Magic writes, they don't call it prostitution per se, but the girls regard themselves as sugar babies and their benefactors, sugar daddies. On the surface, however, it appears to have had some elements of the world's oldest profession, Hacksaw. Tanika writes, is he done yet? Y'all gonna do John like that? Y'all gonna do this black man like that? You know you're wrong for that. You know you're wrong for that. You should not do him like that. John is a well-respected member of society in the digital world. Damn. Brother can't get no love. See, now when I do it, I'm the bad guy. See how they play you? Oh, dear Lord. Let me pull here up again before we roll out of here. So again, folks, later on today, 7 p.m. approximately, we're going to do a first live stream of the Cutting Through the BS podcast. And you'll be able to call into the show if you would like, interact with Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. This will be their first live stream. It's going to go straight live off of our Sin digital media page. And I'll post a link so you can also subscribe to the audio feed as well. And I'm looking forward to that. That'll be later on today. Let me see here. Y'all need to stop hating on John. I keep reading his hate mail. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. They're going to be talking about numerous things, including Kaepernick's BS versus the NFL's BS because they cut through the BS. Reaction to the racism in the Trump era. Respecting the dead. They're going to talk about that Tri-State heist as well. And they go, that's a local story, so it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say. There have been several human trafficking attempts in the Tri-State area as well, and also restaurant health violations in Cincinnati. That's coming up at 7 p.m. today. Please like and share. Bunky writes, Clue and snacks and prostitution will be legal within 10 years like the marijuana laws. However, we will be shut out. Something from the hood won't be able to throw that punani watch. That's Bunky. Dashwika from the hood, Bunky. That's what we doing now? We making up what we think are ghetto sounding names. That's what we doing. See, you know what? This ain't good. This ain't good. Not one bit. See, Sister V writes, remember Pelosi said he will self-impeach, and look at the graveyard of homies that's been convicted already. Right. Look at all the people that went to jail surrounding Mueller. And Nancy Pelosi did say that. And he did because, again, Trump don't see no rules. There's no boundaries. He's been running his own thing, his own life. 90% of the time when he's in a room, he is the one that's in charge. He is used to people bowing down to him. He's used to people kissing his ass. He's used to people telling him shit he wants to hear. Okay, that's what he's used to. He won like that. He ran just like that, claiming he was going to make you rich and bring back beautiful, clean coal. And it's just been chaos after controversy after controversy after chaos. I mean, the media spent 2 years talking about how they just couldn't understand the boldness of his tweets. So Trump is narcissistic, completely self-absorbed. How do we know? Because his own woman don't rock with him. You don't see them having no loving moments together like you did with the Obamas, where they was like caught up having their own little conversation and no one in the world gave it. It didn't matter what nobody said. He was looking into her eyes. She was looking into his eyes. You know they had most of those moments. Trump hasn't had none of those moments. They don't even sleep together. She don't even live in, when they stay in the White House, she's got an apartment on the other side of town where she stays with their son. That means he ain't getting no home cooking. That's what he means. We got a president that's getting no home cooking. That's the reason why Obama was so damn calm. He was getting some of that good old-fashioned home cooking from a black woman, and it kept him calm. You know what I'm saying? Well, it kept him calm. And Trump's not getting any of that. Everything is fast food. Ray writes, seems a lot more simpler to call women by their government. I'm just saying. Where I prefer Hellcocks, Hussies, and Heifers. Okay. Sounds like the title of a book. Let's see. Don't worry, Drop. I have 3 computer screens, and one is always on the impeachment trial. Have to make sure you're not spreading bullshit in the chop shop. TNT writes, yes, I'm lost on the Cape situation. What happened? Well, Colin Kaepernick, 3 hours before he was supposed to meet at, I'm not sure what stadium, NFL facility. He had 24 teams that were going to show up. 3 hours beforehand, he put out a message to the team that he was going to have it at a high school that was 60 miles away from that particular designation. So just think about 60 miles. That's an hour and a half. 2 hours with traffic. That's a lot of traffic, though. But let's say you're 90 minutes away from your destination. That's a nice little drive. That's a drive that you just don't just say, oh, gotta go 90 minutes away. Okay, cool. I mean, usually if you're driving 90 minutes away, you prepare for it. You know it's on your calendar. You got your little snacks and your little water bottle. You got your little survival kit or whatever you take with you. You're just mentally prepared. It was 60 miles away, and apparently they fell out over who can control the narrative. Colin Kaepernick wanted to videotape of himself and put it on his YouTube channel and then control the narrative. The NFL wanted him to sign a waiver. The Nike wanted him to do a video. And he did his workout. He put a statement out afterwards saying, everybody can see what I can do. And it's time for the league to step up. He got criticized immediately from people like Stephen A. Smith and others who said that he just wants to be a martyr and not really play football, which could be true. Could be true. I don't know. So that's the latest. Let's see here. Freudian slip, homecoming, I'm not sure. Funny bone bound, you're on your way, you're going to the top. I'm talking to the disgruntled woman who insists on being bossy. Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't care where you take fame. He gonna find somebody to argue with. It is what it is. And I think I like that about him, actually. I think I like that. In fact, I know I do. Nothing wrong with that. We need more of that. Real quick, before we roll out, speaking of presidential candidates, Pete Buttigieg in Iowa was like the number one stunner within the past week in terms of his numbers. So it looks like he is like being taken seriously. But I don't hear black folks talking about Pete Buttigieg. There was an article I read, I think it was from the Atlantic, in which they talked about, they're trying to break down why black voters are not really feeling Pete Buttigieg. And what it concluded was it was because of his homosexuality. And so I put it to you, perhaps you'll watch the debates, perhaps you won't, but if you're going to vote, if you're at the point where you're watching all of this, and you are a person of color, you are an African American, how do you feel about Pete Buttigieg? And let's be honest here. I mean, does his homosexuality bother you? Would you vote for an openly homosexual president? That's my question. Let's get straight to it. Male or female? Does it make a difference? Would you be more likely to vote for a female who is a homosexual? Because we know that there's a certain eroticism in our culture, in the minds of so-called heterosexual men about it. So it would kind of be a softer way of dealing with it than a man. Black folks are very conservative. We know this. I would understand. I just want to get your thoughts real quick. What do you think? Ms. Tiffany writes, did anyone question why he had to go 50 miles away? Did the nearby schools not want him to use their fields? You know what, Ms. Tiffany, I don't know. The speculation is that if Colin Kaepernick really wanted to be in the NFL, people that are in sports media, some of them anyway, are saying that he should have just did whatever the NFL told him to do, sign a waiver, go through the workout, take it seriously, and then that would have put the pressure back on the NFL to say, look, Colin Kaepernick did everything you asked, and he looked really good out there. Well, that didn't happen. And so now people are saying that he's wrecked his chance of ever being in the league again. And for me personally, I don't care. I mean, if he cares, I mean, that's great. I care for him. But we shall see. What I found out is I think that there's a lot of people who, if Colin Kaepernick, who have been boycotting, and if Kaepernick gets back to the NFL, they'll stop their boycott. But what I would say is that what impact did the boycott really have? You know, the NFL is caked, it's written, it's in the books. They're going to make money no matter what. Paul Brown Stadium, it's going to make money no matter what. I mean, has there ever been can you tell me a better local example of a boondoggle than the Hamilton County, investment in Paul Brown Stadium? Number one is an open air dome, and we're in Cincinnati. What does that mean? Well, that means that, I don't know, around this time of the year, you know, other than outdoor venues like, I guess, football, you're not really going to get a lot of use out of the major part of it where you got the most amount of seats. Like, I know that they rent out the different parts of the stadium that for banquets and things like that. Like, even if there's not a game going on or it's a non-football year or a non-football time of year, if you want to rent out some of the different rooms and halls and stuff, you can do that. I think we all agree that the biggest moneymaker has to be something that draws people into the actual theater itself, right? Why would we ever spend money for something that we can't even get 24/7, 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year usage out of in terms of the major moneymaker? Okay, I just thought we should have had a retractable dome. That would have been smart. But we're not smart in Hamilton County. We're emotional. We're emotional. So we got an emotional deal, which was a bad deal. The world we live in. I don't mind that lady. She's smart, but nothing grinds my gears more than a mother hen or somebody's trying to boss me around. Boys will be boys. We being irreverent and sarcastic. Look at Hacksaw in here getting all super serious. Stop it. Stop it. Ray writes, okay, to be clear, I wasn't being bossy. I merely said, what more should calling us names basically to our face is unacceptable. That's all. It wasn't intended to be smart, but you jumped in, and thus is where it's at. Mike Jones writes, he writes booty judge. See, that just tells me right there. Boot edge. Threw the black police chief of South Bend, Indiana under the bus. So it's a no for me. But isn't that what mayors do? Isn't that the role that police chiefs play, fall guy? Let's be real. Let's be real. He's the police chief. It's your fault. That's just the way it goes. You know, that police chief, fire chief, but primarily police chief because of their everyday interactions with the constituents. But police chief, that's a political appointment. It's highly political because it's public, and you are subject to be the fall guy. And city manager, that's another one. City manager. If you're a city manager, you are subject to be the fall guy. You are subject to be the fall guy, period. What is this? Somebody just sent me a message. There's news from the police. It's urgent message for all for the next few weeks. Please do not drink any product from Pepsi, Tropicana juice, Slice, 7-Up, etc. A worker from the company has admitted that he added his blood contaminated with AIDS. Somebody just sent me that on Facebook. Is that real? I don't know. Is that Henry? Are you in the chop shop? I got it from somebody named Henry. What up, Henry? You never can tell these days, man. You never can tell. You never can tell. Hand dryers suck. What? Oh, that's just great. Great to know. It's great to know. Let me see here. Look at this. This is from CNBC. Thank you, James. Hand dryers, just the last couple minutes of the show, so I'll throw in some fillers here. Hand dryers suck in fecal bacteria and blow it all over your hands, study finds. Well, you know, you go to the restroom, it's got those hand blowers, and you sit there with your hand underneath there. They're saying essentially they're just recycling bacteria that's in the air straight onto your hands. Makes sense. Makes sense. What is this? Young Not Silent? What is this? C. Smith put this out on the Friends page 12 hours ago. This? Okay. Oh, yeah, I like that. That's dope. What is this? Oh, man, I like it. Okay, cool. All right, that's great. Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. Mike Jones writes, but there was racism involved. No. Clue Magic writes, I don't know, Bunky. Legal prostitution will give women too much control of their own bodies. The same ones advocating against abortions will advocate against legal prostitution. That's right, they will. I mean, in Nevada, it's legal. I don't see a problem with it. Like, that's your body. My thing is, are you spreading diseases? I think that's what we should be focusing on. Now, listen, thank you. That's my time. I've got to make a move. We'll talk again tomorrow morning, bright and early. Look for a live stream podcast later on today, 7 p.m. approximately. I know many of you are already subscribers to Send Digital Media, or you're a subscriber to my page. And I'm going to post that up today, and you can interact with the crew, Cutting Through the BS, hosted by Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. All right, that's 7 p.m. approximately. That's a local podcast, and they'll be talking local issues. You can interact with them later on today. Have a great day, and we'll be back real soon. All right, take it easy. I'm out.